What's going on, guys?
Let's get this going.
My name is the Super Saiyan Phenom, and I'm here to introduce myself to the Dragon Ball community.
I will show you the true
And I'm going to do
power
that
of a
by
Saiyan.
telling you a little bit about myself and where I got started with this whole Dragon Ball thing. I've been a Dragon Ball fan for over 20 years. Started watching Dragon Ball in 1995.
Just stay put and
That's
watch.
right,
I'll take care of this
1995.
myself.
And when I say Dragon Ball, I mean Dragon Ball.
I'm not Kakarot! I am Goku!
I'm not talking about
was
Dragon Ball Z.
Pretty good.
I'm talking about Dragon Ball. That's what I started with. Was watching cartoons one morning, and I can't remember what channel it was on. This was in 1995. But I remember the first episode of Dragon Ball I ever watched, and it was Goku versus Cal Piper. And it was after Goku, you know, hindsight being 2020, I know now that it was after Goku had come down from Korin's tower. And he had trained with Korin, and Korin tricked him into drinking regular water and everything. But
My way.
he fought Cal Piper.
If you let yourself be defeated, you wouldn't have to
That was the
suffer.
very first episode of Dragon Ball I had ever watched. And, of course, I owned the Sega Genesis, and one of my favorite games to play on Sega Genesis was Street Fighter 2. So watching Dragon Ball and watching Goku do the Kamehameha reminded me of Ryu and Ken Hadouken. So I was instantly hooked. Unfortunately, I wouldn't see another Dragon Ball. I wouldn't see any more material related to Dragon Ball for a whole
Don't get in my way.
maybe even 3 years.
Lost? What? Impossible.
I wouldn't watch another episode again until late 97, maybe 98. This is when it came on at midnight on Cartoon Network. I was staying the summer with my friend, not my friend, my cousin, I'm sorry, in Huntsville, Alabama. And we were playing Street Fighter Alpha 3 on PlayStation.
I won't die. I will kill you someday!
And he asked me, he said, "You like that, then you'll love this. You're gonna watch the show with me tonight at midnight. That's when it comes on. You have to watch it." That's what he said to me. I said, "Okay. Oh, well, what is it? I'll watch it." So, we stay up, we watch it, and I'll never forget the first episode of Dragon Ball Z I ever saw. It was an episode called Time Ticks and Body Binds. It's the episode where Gohan and Krillin fight Guldo from the Ginyu Force. I'll never forget it in my life, if you remember. And they start fighting Guldo, the episode before Time Ticks and Body Binds, because they always show the previous episode's recap. And Vegeta says, "Alright boys, looks like it's time to take them down." And then they run up to face Guldo. And Krillin says, "Are you ready, Gohan?" This was in the old dub. Before Sean Schimmel and everyone. Krillin's, "Are you ready, Gohan?"
You're really well trained,
Gohan,
aren't you?
"Yeah. Let's start up the heat." And of course they start powering up, and then they jump in the air, and they shoot their blast. I was hooked instantly. We stayed up till 12 o'clock every night for the rest of that summer watching the Dragon Ball Z. And then when I got back home, I stayed up, even on school nights, to watch it. And of course this was around the time when, of course, Goku would come in, he'd get off the ship, he'd take out Raccoon, I'm sorry. And then in the next episode, he's supposed to fight Burger and Jace. But of course, he can't because of course he can't because it restarts. When we go back to the very start of the Saiyan saga when Raditz appears, which is fine. I watched it like that for almost 2 years before in 1999, September of 99. Would have been October, but I think it was September. It started airing on Toonami, and they were going to show the new episodes. They were going to show the entire Frieza saga. And I would watch every single episode of it. Stop. And I would watch every single episode of it and record every single episode of it as well. So I recorded every single episode of the rest of the Namek saga and the entire Frieza saga on VHS. I did that all the way up through the Garlic Jr. saga. And then after the Garlic Jr. saga was over, I recall going to Walmart one day with my parents, and I go to the electronics section because that's what every kid does. It's the first place they run in Walmart, it's the electronics section. So I go to the electronics section, and I look at the videos, VHS videos, and the very first thing I see are 2 Dragon Ball Z videos. Both of them say Mysterious Youth on the top. I can't remember what they said under it, but it said Mysterious Youth. And one of them, of course, had Trunks as a Super Saiyan. He was holding up the blast from Frieza. And the other had Trunks in his time machine, waving. And I knew who Trunks was because I would look up anything Dragon Ball. And every weekend I would go to my aunt's house. And she was the only person in my family that had internet at the time, circa 1999, 2000. Of course, it was dial-up internet, but I would go to her house and I would get online, and I would look for pictures and information on Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and I would print them off. So I knew who Trunks was, plus he was in the old Rock the Dragon intro that used to come on before all the episodes. So I knew who Trunks was, but I'd never seen an episode with him in it. So I begged my mom for, oh man, an hour straight to buy those for me.
Greetings.
They were $9.96 a piece. I'll never forget the price. That's how much they always were, $9.96. And I begged her and pleaded with her, and finally she bought them for me, but the deal was I had to mow the lawn when I got back home. Couldn't watch until I mowed the lawn. She was going to hold them until I mowed the lawn. I'm going to talk about mowing the lawn in record time. It's the fastest I've ever mowed the lawn. Still to this day, I've never mowed it that fast. Anyway. So, I watched Trunks. You know, I'll never forget what he says when he lands, you know. Ah, so you must be Frieza. Oh man, that was it right there. And ever since I bought those 2 episodes on VHS, I bought the remainder of the series all the way from Mysterious Youth all the way through the end where Goku flies off with Oob. I had the entire series on VHS. And you know, they formed the pictures on the side. And I had this huge bookshelf where I would keep all my Dragon Ball Z VHSs.
There will be no mercy!
And I could always tell when one was missing because the picture would be messed up on the side. I'm a bit of a rarity in the Dragon Ball community. I like both the dub and the sub, whether it's Sean Schimmel or the original Japanese recordings. I like them all. Doesn't matter to me. I watch it any way I can get it. And of course, like any other fan right now, I'm currently watching Super. And I'm loving it. Started off kind of sluggish, but... Oh, I just got knocked out. Started off kind of sluggish, but... it's picked up quite a bit. And I've been enjoying it. Okay, so I guess that didn't work. Ever since they finished the retellings, though, I've been enjoying it a lot. But anyway, that's how I got started with the. That's how I got started with Dragon Ball. And it's been amazing. A lot of people watch Dragon Ball, you know, for the fights and everything like that. But me, of course, it started off like that, watching them for the fights.
Not bad!
But what I came to appreciate most about Dragon Ball were the stories that it told. The character arcs that it built. You know, the character arc, for example, that Vegeta goes through the entirety of Dragon Ball Z. Even the character arc that he's going through now in Super. How sometimes he still struggles with his good nature. Because he's supposed to be, you know, the ultimate badass. Yet he still struggles with that.
Impossible! Darn you! Disintegrate!
That's what I really started appreciating Dragon Ball. I mean, it even hit me in an emotional state. I'll never forget the episode where Vegeta fights Frieza with his new power. And he loses, of course. It's the episode where Goku wakes up from the healing tank, and he comes to the battlefield, and of course he tells Frieza, if you got a problem with Vegeta, you're gonna take it up with me, blah blah blah. And long story short, Frieza kills Vegeta.
Hey.
Frieza kills Vegeta. And Vegeta tells his story about how he had been a slave of Frieza his whole life, and he starts crying. And he just tells him, pleading with God. I mean, he's pleading with every breath could be his last. He's pleading with Goku. Please, you have to stop Frieza. Don't let him do this to anybody else. No matter what it takes, you have to stop him. I'll never forget that episode, because that is an episode that I actually cried at 11 years old. That's how old I was when I first watched that episode. and I cried.
What's wrong? Your power level is shrinking.
And I'm not talking about a little bit of crying. I'm talking about I bawled, baby. And that's when I went from, I was already a huge fan of Dragon Ball Z, but that's when I went from huge fan to Mega Super, conventions, cosplay, collecting everything I could get my hands on fan. That's when I became that guy. That episode was, that changed my entire outlook. I was like, hey, this isn't just about great fights. This is about great stories as well. And it was. They told great stories. And if you watch every fight in Dragon Ball, it tells a great story. That's what I appreciate most about Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball. And that's a wonderful series. And look at it, man. If you talk to any anime fan who became an anime fan in the last 10 to 20 years, I bet you over 75% of them are gonna say, you know, I started watching Dragon Ball Z, but then, that's what they're gonna say, because Dragon Ball Z is the ultimate gateway anime to the genre.
Myself sharp too.
That's what everybody started with. Uh-oh.
I'll be sure to avenge you.
Uh-oh, I might die.
Don't get too confident.
That's it. Yeah, it's the ultimate gateway anime. Actually kind of cheap that you can just teleport right to them when you do the attack like that. Yeah, that's my history of Dragon Ball Z. How I got started and why I love it so. Hope you guys enjoyed listening to me. And if not, well, maybe you'll enjoy my next broadcast. Next video that I put up. This isn't gonna be my last. I'm gonna start covering other topics related to Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, and Super, as well as doing Super reviews and such. I'm also going to do other topics outside of just Dragon Ball as well. Uh-oh. get my butt kicked here. Oh yeah? Ah. That's what you get. Don't mess with me. Anyways. Now, you want to start some more crap?
Bravo! Simply splendid.
Exactly. Oh man. I got a lot of stuff this time, huh? Good deal. Anyways, until next time, people, take care of yourself and each other. I am Super Saiyan.